Hello and good evening and welcome to another adventure in Middle-earth. I'm Loremaster Loris. Some of you might know me from other campaigns as Branwolf the Barbarian, but not tonight. No, this evening I will be continuing our adventure in the Middle-earth campaign. We're trying something new just to see how things work out. Our adventurers are Fulgrim the Rohirrim. We have Yorith the Ranger.
Hello. Sorry, I'm eating.
And Inga, our, beautiful maiden with a sharp blade, I would say.
Yes, that's correct.
We started let's get a short, since it's been a while, let me give a short recap. We've, our three adventurers have headed, after meeting up Tom Bombadil, who helped them get rid of a Barrow White, who would have been a very, very dangerous foe. Continued on into Bree, met there, first of all, the family Butterbur, and a whole bunch of people. The family Butterbur, of course, at the Prancing Pony. Young Barleyman, who later will become a very famous innkeep of the Prancing Pony, and his father, Barnabas. And we met many, many people there. And from a false ranger all the way to a real forester, a moody halfling who thinks everything is crap, and a buxom wench. And yes, and at the moment we're trying to find out what happened at Hayward's farm. Hayward is a farmer who's, he's been his animals, provisions, everything has been stolen. And of course this is especially since he does do a lot of I would say import export also with Rohan. This of course is a very terrible thing. So we pick up as we are now.
I think we went all the way to the farm, and we found a barn which we secured more or less to be empty.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wanted to sit down and wait because the stories they told us was that whatever comes, it usually comes at night. And since it's right in the middle of the night and it seems that nothing is here at the moment, we said we're gonna hunker down and do a long rest, but we're basically resting.
Yeah, it's like a long rest, but at this, I would say that you take watch. Matter of fact,
Yorith would basically, I think, offer to take the first watch.
Okay, so Yorith was on the first watch.
Yeah.
And then we have Fulgrim and Inga left. Either you can watch together or whatever. It's up to you. But if Yorith's gonna have the first watch, then the other two can find himself. I mean, there's lots of hay there. There's old. You see all kinds of briar sacks. There's a lot of possibilities. It's dry. You can bed down and probably get a good night's rest if you wrap yourself in your cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not too cold. It's a nice evening. The stars are out. The moon, after this strange happenings, has now finally also
cracks open a cold one.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I opened the cold one. Hey, this dwarven ale that goes straight to the head.
Very good.
So then let us start with our episode, which I would like to call "Heed No Nightly Noises," or should you?
I need to note that down for later. Hang on.
Yeah, I'll send it. Heed no nightly noises. Or should you? This will be episode 3. So you start your watch at Hayward's farm. It's a nice evening. The evening has turned in slowly into night. It's probably, considering about our times, the lanterns are on everywhere. The first guests are already leaving the pony and other inns. So it's probably around 11-ish, something like that, where you
I think
bed down.
Was it like last session? Wasn't it like already midnight or something? I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly, but I thought it was something about that.
But
It's around midnight.
Yeah, but it's not past midnight yet. It's
Okay.
then let's say it's midnight. You hear the Bree town bell ring the 12 chimes, and I need you to roll for perception, Yorith. To
I
see
filled
what
out
you
my character
hear.
sheet again. It's now working.
Okay, good. So check and see what you might hear, what you might.
Well, I have good perception, but that's only a 10.
Only a 10.
Yep.
Well, with a 10, I would say like you hear a little bit of scurrying around the hen house, and not too sure what it might be.
This is like right outside the barn, the hen house.
Yeah, you have
right?
the barn. The barn door is, you probably closed one of them. Probably have the other one open. You can have I think you said you have a lantern for light.
Yeah,
You don't
a
really.
hooded
You don't.
lantern, I
Yeah.
think.
You don't really need fire. It's not that cold. It's since it stopped raining.
Yeah, I'm
it's
just
not
mumbled
that
up
cold.
in my traveling cloak.
Yeah, and so and the moon is bright, so you do have pretty good lighting even at night. Everything is in this blue shimmer, and you hear the hen house is kind of if you look out the barn to the left towards almost before the gate that leaves the Hayward farm, and behind that hen house you hear kind of a scurrying, scratching noise.
Okay.
With 10.
So where I'm currently like sitting inside the barn.
I would say you're probably sitting by the barn door so that you have an
so if
overlook.
I basically
to see
take a peek
if someone
outside, I
comes.
only see the hens.
Yeah.
Walking
Yeah, if you
and
look
scurrying
outside
around.
at this time, they're probably all in the hen house. They're probably all
Okay,
have
but
their
it
heads
sounds
under
like
their wings.
From
It
the
sounds
sound
like
of it, it's definitely
outside.
outside of that hen
It's
house.
outside.
It's
It's
not
no.
coming from inside.
No, it's outside. It's kind of a
Okay.
it's kind of a scurrying, scratching noise.
I'm not
And,
gonna. Yorith is not gonna do anything. She's just gonna like watch to see if anything
Okay.
might like come around the hen house or something. But she's gonna stay in the barn with the others.
Well, the scurrying continues, and you now hear every once in a while. You think it might be two different kind of voices, or I would say sounds that sound like a hissing.
Okay.
A hissing. So it almost sounds like either two animals or something might be fighting or something.
I am going to, with like my gaze still on the barn door. I'm gonna move over to Fulgrim, and like
Okay.
gently nudge his shoulder to see. I don't know how deep he sleeps.
I guess I'm gonna wake up sort of like how. What? What's going on?
It seems we are not alone. I just say
Okay.
to him, and I just leave him with that information, and
Yeah.
I draw my sword and just like lay it across my lap and sit down next to or like somewhere like right in front of our door again to keep an eye on if I see anything.
Does Fulgrim want to try to perceive and
Oh yeah. As soon as
Yes,
says something
Yorith
or mentions
woke you.
something that we're not
Yeah.
alone, I'm gonna get.
Okay.
First of all, I'm gonna get my bow ready,
okay?
and then have
crap.
a listen.
Yeah.
Why am I using my framing longsword when I'm a much better shot?
Perception, you said, right?
Yes.
Oh well, that's a 9.
A 9, huh? Not much better than thing. Only you seem to hear amongst the hissing and the scratching. It stops, then it starts up again, and you'll hear a little bit of a squeaking now too.
And it's all coming from the hen house, right?
It's around the corner. You'd have to get up and look around the corner.
Yeah.
What's
Does,
there?
does it sound
It's-
like an animal of any kind that we might have heard before?
with 10 and with 9, yeah, it reminds you probably of mice. The squeaking reminds you of mice.
So, Joris, you woke me up because of some animals scurrying around outside?
I'm not exactly sure because the scurrying in itself didn't sound like mice to me. I'm guessing it sounded larger.
Would we be able to get like on top of the barn from the inside?
Like
There's a
second
ladder.
story?
There's a ladder and a second story going up to where the barn is. Where there's hay, where the hay can be. Yeah, you can go up to the hay loft, and there's like all barns have. There's like a window which faces out of the barn where the big hay when the hay is made, it can be loaded down into wagons. So you could drop hay bales from up there. So you could probably get a better view from up there too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And on my way up, I'm gonna nudge Inga as well.
Wake
to
everyone
her
up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
What's going on?
I think Joris seems to be scared of some mice, but yeah, she's not quite sure if it's really mice. So just be
Certainly not
aware.
mice. These
Then
are
you-
unlike
Okay.
any mice I've ever heard.
big mice, very big
mice.
mice, rats or something.
I'm also going to like sheath the sword again, but I'm going to stay at the entrance and just also
Stay at the
ready my
entrance of the
longbow
barn.
to be
Okay.
able to, if I see something, I don't know, running
Yeah.
towards the barn, to just take a shot from downstairs.
As Fulgrim slowly, I guess you're gonna take the ladder which goes up to the hayloft. Yeah, it creaks. It creaks a bit under your weight, but it seems to be holding. And you go up towards the hayloft, and there's it's like a small latched window which you can push open, and then you could probably look beyond the other side of the hen house that way because you're higher now. If you want to do that.
Yeah, I wanna to try that and try to open it as quietly as possible.
Yeah. How good are you in stealth?
Not that bad, I think.
Try your luck at stealth
I'll try
and
that.
see how
Question
quietly
to
this
our-
latch. Yeah.
To our Rohirrim, the horse is still in Bree, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's with the
And the prancing pony.
prancing pony. They're taking care of it.
Okay.
It's all been paid for, and it's ready for you when you leave if you want to, or they'll keep it as long as you want.
It's 22.
Oh wow, perfect. Yeah, you very quietly, as graciously as you can, open up, holding the latch a little bit around the squeaky edges so that it doesn't squeak too loud, and you open up this latch. You have a view now of the whole farm, more or less, looking down, and in the pale moonlight beyond the hen house, you see two cats who looks like they're trying to catch mice, which are eating the spilt corn. And one seems to have caught one now, and they're fighting over the grains from the ground and also the one dead mouse. And if you see them, and that's what the scurrying and the noise is that they're fighting about that.
Yeah, of course
If
it
you-
was.
If you throw a rock or something down there, they'll probably take off.
No, I don't want to disturb those little cats. I'm just gonna sigh inwardly and gonna climb back down
Okay.
to the two ladies.
Okay. Well, this whole thing has been probably just a few minutes now of your time, so you can continue with your rest. It's probably somewhere between midnight and 1 now, because you started your rest around midnight. So this has just been a bothersome a pause in your sleep. So whoever wants to continue watch, if Yorith wants to continue, let the other one sleep again.
Yes, I would
Oh, I
say
guess she
since
will
it's-
continue.
Since it's my bad,
Yeah.
seems that life on the road does fray one's nerves a bit.
Yeah.
You get jumpy after a while.
Nothing continues on. The cats seem to have calmed down or taken off or
I'm
whatever.
just waiting for the
Yeah.
bigger hunter. There's always a bigger hunter with prey around.
There's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish, yes. So, but the cats seem to have taken off. You don't hear anything more.
Yeah, I don't know how long my watch would usually be with if
I
we
don't
decide
know
to
if we-
split it up to 3 people.
If you want to do the 2, and then someone can do from 2 to 4, and then someone from 4 to 6.
Yeah,
4 to
sounds about
sunrise.
fair.
Yeah. Well, nothing else happens, and it's time for it's around 2 in the morning. Everything is quiet. Even there's no more sound coming from the town, because even the last guests and drunken revelry and everything which carried
Everything
over.
has died down.
Everything is died down. Is quiet. You hear the what the hobbits like to call the famous knickerbreakers making their nightly noises, which are like crickets of them. Which every once in a while maybe an owl which hoots, but everything else is quiet.
Well, then
And
next up,
you can
I would
change.
definitely wake Fulgrim again, because I know
Okay.
that the watch in the middle is the worst one. Because you don't have enough time to sleep anymore after it. You
Yeah.
didn't get enough time in, and I don't
That's
want to
what they
put that
say
on
in
the little girl.
Yeah, that's what they say in the jungle camp too. Yeah.
Yes, you can take it, Fulgrim.
Is it another cat scuffle? That's
No,
why
it's
we're waking
just,
me up?
Just the usual. What was the word again? The knicker or somethings the halflings call it.
The knickerbreakers.
The
It's just
knickerbreakers.
crickets.
Just
Nightly
some
crick-
knickerbreakers around.
Just nightly crickets and nothing, no other danger. So, Fulgrim
Fine, then
takes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fulgrim
but
takes
I'd
over.
like to take my watch on top of the barn.
Very smart, very
Yeah.
good. You have a good view that way.
Yeah.
Are you
Very
keeping the
good.
door open in the entrance door, or are you gonna close it?
No, I'm leaving that open.
Yorith enters a very restless sleep.
Okay. So, then Yorith gets her sleep. Inga continues snoozing and dreaming of that what young ladies dream of, and yes, it slowly gets 4 a.m. slowly comes around. Nothing else happens. Nothing of interest really. And if you want to change watch, you can change now with Inga, because it would be another 2. It's about another 2 hours to sunrise.
How old is Inga? She's about 16.
Something like that. I think so. Yeah.
Yes, 16.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure if I trust a 16-year-old girl.
I look even younger.
All right, I'm gonna wake Yorith again.
Okay.
Yeah, Yorith
Um,
gets up very groggily.
Groggily, probably doesn't understand why
is
she's
it
being
happening?
waking again.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's happening. It's your watch.
Again?
Yes. Did you? Why? Did you expect
I
me
like
to?
look over towards Inga. I'm guessing she's sleeping soft and soundly.
Yes.
Well, I guess. And I just
Wow,
without
she's
another.
a young girl. She should get her sleep. Don't
That's
you?
While
true.
the three of you, oh no, she's unawake. She's sleeping. The 2 of you are awake now. Yorith and Fulgrim. I need another perception roll from both of you. From both of you.
It's a 7.
I have a 22.
Okay. So now you're gonna have to believe Yorith again.
I'm just gonna go.
because, yeah, Yorith hears something. Yorith hears. It sounds like padded or very. Either someone is heavy and trying to be quiet, or it's somebody who just doesn't know how to walk decently. But you hear definitely in the night footsteps slowly coming. It's coming not from the gate, but it looks like either someone has crawled under a gate or somehow it's once again coming towards the hen house. There's a hen house and there's a rabbit like a bunny stable, which is right next to there. So all the small animals, the pigs and so are on the other side of the yard. The smaller animals, the hens and the bunnies, they're on this side of the yard where it was close to the barn.
Okay.
And Yorith, you definitely hear that footsteps coming.
Then I just say
probably through grass.
Stay low and wake Inga, and I make my way up to the second story to have a look outside and ready my bow.
Is it cats again?
I just say quiet and make a stern face.
The ranger,
I mean business.
Of course. The ranger, of course, Yorith is even doesn't hardly make any noise, almost elven-like, jumps up the ladder and peers out, and it's about 4 a.m. before sunrise, and from the top you can make the shadow of either someone or something rather large on two legs. It's probably human, or I would say humanoid, definitely. And it's creeping between the bunnies and the hen house, as if it's trying to get as low as possible. And in the light of looks like it has a shaded lantern. And you can make out that the figure is holding a briar sack in one hand and this shaded lantern in the other, was just very little light, just like on the ground. So someone is definitely moving there.
Okay. I just draw my bow and bow.
Your bow?
The bow.
I drew my bow.
I just draw my bow and shout out into the night. Who goes there? Just keeping it fixed onto this humanoid figure.
The shaded figure stops and doesn't move. You seem to make out on the side, it might be either a large axe or it could also be a sword, but you definitely see metal on the side of like a belt or something. So the sack in one hand is not.
But it doesn't react in any way other than
no,
stopping.
the figure does not reach. It stopped. It seems to put down the lantern and hold very still and not move. And just standing there, crouched, trying to hide between, not realizing, of course, that you can see it from the top, because the figure probably thought that if there's someone watching, they're all on the ground.
Then I just again say, name yourself.
Now that he's been confronted, the stranger raises himself up and lifts both hands in a gesture of peace. And you hear the voice and also see now the bearded face of Harry Talltree, the forester that you met at the inn. He says, "Don't shoot! Don't shoot! It's me, old Harry. Don't shoot! I'm unarmed. I got my hands up. I'm gonna come closer, okay?"
Is there like I don't know, where's the nearest light source? Probably just the one he's carrying?
Moon, the one he's carrying, the moon itself. If he would come behind the hut, more or less stand in front of you, he'd still be a good distance away. So he's probably still, probably at least 10 feet or maybe even 15 feet away. If he moves out of behind the hen house, then you could probably see him in the moonlight. I mean, Harry, if you remember Harry, he's a tall man.
He was the big burly dude, yes.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think the last picture I put in the thing is, if you want to share that later on or now, is from Harry Talltree. It's in the Slanted Dice War Room. So that's who's awaiting you.
And he's Harry.
Yeah, he's slowly walking away from the hen house so you can see him in the moonlight, and it is, as you can see,
Indeed
Harry
him.
Talltree. And he still has his hands up, and he says, Can I come closer? You caught me red-handed, I guess. I can explain everything.
Lay down your arms next to the hen house and then step closer to the barn where we can see each other face to face.
Of course. Good friends. This is all a big...
I'm just gonna, but still stay like on top with the bow drawn.
You see him lift that big axe that he had, that he was, and he really lays it down at the hen house. He even goes down on the side of his boot where he has a kindling axe, a throwing axe, and he even takes that out, shows you, and puts it on the ground. So he's really disarming himself. Behind his back, he's got a hunting knife. He takes it out, puts it down. He says, "That's all me weapons."
Do I see what the other two are doing? From up there? Or what are the other two doing?
Well, Inga is probably still sleeping if she didn't...
Of course I woke her up.
Yeah.
Probably the shouting walker.
Yeah, that as well.
So from down there now, you also see Harry Talltree, the guy that you saw from the inn, step out in front, and he seems to be motioning up towards Yorith, where Yorith must have a bow on her, a bow on him, since you don't really see it. And he's slowly coming, and just once he said, like I said, he's got his hands up, and he says, I can, let me explain.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slowly lower like my bow, but I'm still going to stay up there. I'm not going downstairs. Because the other two are there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go towards him, or towards the door.
Yeah.
So explain yourself.
Yeah, he just kind of he reaches behind him where the lantern is, opens up it and lifts it up to his face so he really shows himself, and he says, and he comes closer, very, very gently, very slowly, because he's afraid of being attacked, and he puts down the lantern in front of you and just kind of plops down in front of it, crossing his legs like Yorith realizes this is the way sometimes that the rangers will sit when they talk in the woods. So Harry's definitely is a man of the woods. And he says, well, my friends, I guess I have a lot of explaining to do. I've been exaggerating a bit of the stories about monsters and things that go bump in my woods. But I did kill me that troll fair and square. I thought he might been behind this bloody nuisance, behind Farmer Hayward's stolen and butchered animals. He'd asked me before and told me about this. Fact is, the monsters and the blood trails and the forests around here, my friends, those are real. The bloody thief that's been stealing old Hayward's provision and animals, well, that was me. And he kind of looks towards the ground in shame.
Why does a woodman of the north go to such drastic measures as to steal from the local populace?
Well, I'm gonna pay everything back. I have to tell you, I'm trying to catch, I think it's a pack of goblins. It's at least 3 that I've seen. They might be orcs, some from far away I couldn't really see, and they roam the forest area near the downs at night. They seem to be the ones responsible for all the blood and the carcasses in the woods. They seem to be collecting blood and animal flesh for some kind of sick, twisted ritual which they have, and I've yet to find out more. So I laid low, and I even had 1 or 2 of the rangers help me, but we could never catch them. So I decided I'm going to trick them. I'm going to lay a trap in order to catch them. And since they're out for meat and blood, well, I needed meat and blood for provisions to spring my trap. That's why I've been nicking stuff off old Hayward to catch these rascals. I even went deeper into the forest to find these strange characters. I'm going to reimburse the old farmer for all his loss. I just couldn't tell him yet that it was me. Once I can catch or kill all these goblins and raid their lair, then I'll get everything back. But what else should I do? I had to try to trick them.
You like roll an insight check or something
Yeah, sure.
to see if he's like
Yeah,
genuine
go ahead.
about it.
Yeah, you can roll an insight.
Wouldn't you
Check and
just
see.
buy the animals from the farmer?
Well, I wanted to do it hidden so that no one knew that I was springing these traps. That's why I kept telling all the making the stories even wilder about the woods, so no one would worry about. But of course, I think I overdid it with. I've too many animals I stole.
I rolled a 24 on the
Oh,
insight.
perfect. Well, he seems to be telling the truth. It seems to be that he's really and the way that your knowledge of people and everything, he really seems to be feeling bad about this too. It's like he's spilling his guts to you now, and he even has a suggestion. He said, "You know what? I have to go back to my woods and play the forester there, and maybe I don't know if Hayward talked about this before or not. Of course, you know now who the thief is. You don't have to catch the thief, but we have to catch these goblins and see what they're up to. I've seen them from afar. I've seen signs of them. Could be 3, maybe 4. This sounds drastic, but they all do look the same, especially in the shadow. But I believe that I once saw the glint of a white hand as a symbol. And that would mean that they're coming from Isengard. Maybe they're, runaways.
It's a far place for them to be if they're from Isengard.
Isengard? What's going on in Isengard?
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Well, the last that I've heard and walking around, and I've even had the luck of to meeting up with old Tom and also talking with the Grey Wandering Wizard Mithrandir, who's been here very often in Bree, and looks like his chieftain, his big boss, the head of his council, he seems to be at Isengard, and believe it or not, I think that he's slowly but fixing an army, and I don't know. He's a very wise wizard, but at the same time, something is happening in the east, and I think that I don't know his name again. This is his it's the one that is the boss of the one that they call Mithrandir, the Gandalf one, his boss.
Do I know him?
You probably, yeah, everyone. Oh, sure. The
Probably
folklore,
the Rohirrim, maybe. Yeah.
the Rohirrim,
Yeah.
the Rohirrim work together. The Rohirrim, you would know him as Saruman,
Yeah.
and
Why-
Isengard and Rohirrim, you are. Isengard has been selling cured meat. They have pipe tobacco, which they trade for horses. And Saruman even has sent people to work for King Thangol. So you know of course Isengard being more or less the neighbor of Rohan.
So I'm even more confused as to why orcs, goblins seem to be working for Saruman.
It's kind of weird because Saruman always, in folklore, he's a wise, the head of the White Council. He's a wise wizard, and always was a good neighbor to King Thangol.
What makes you think that Saruman is behind this white hand?
I don't know. It just says that's what we've been told, is that anything which had been bearing of the white hand, these were Easterners, these were soldiers that worked for Isengard, and they had this symbol of the white hand. So, and there have even been, like I said, these are not Mordor orcs. These are a different kind of orcs. It's like they almost look like Northmen, but they have the slinted visage and their protruding teeth. They're almost like half orcs. So, I really don't know, but I have to watch out for deeper in the woods.
Where's this trap that you spoke of, that you were preparing?
Oh, I have the traps which I have are between the Chetwood South and the Staddle Woods. So if you head out of Bree, I've tried to catch them there because that's the last time I saw them. And also when you head into the woods between Chetwood South and Staddle, that's where I found a lot of these animal carcasses, and that's where I last saw them.
It's
they
bit
seem,
of the way
seem
to
to
the
be
southeast.
Yes. If you take the road from the south gate, you'll reach the woods just beyond Staddle. But I say beware, because people are saying there are more dangerous things living in there than even goblins.
Did you manage to hear anything from the people of Staddle? They've been complaining about attacks or occurrences in the night as well?
Matter of fact, Staddle farmers also have the same thing happening, and I must
Thieves in the night or dead?
Truly say that's where I got the idea from. I mean, you got Farmer Jones down there and Farmer Mirkwood, and they've been losing animals, and that's where I thought, well, maybe if I do the same here, they wouldn't think it would be the same thing. So it's probably the work of these goblins that are trying to find. Like I said, I have no idea what they're doing, but they need these animals, and they're not eating them. It always looks like they drain the blood of them, as if they need the blood for something. I don't know.
Just getting something to eat. Hang on.
Good idea, Harry says.
Where did you hear those rumors about the White Hand and that they belong to Isengard? You said you didn't mention any names before.
No, I haven't. I haven't mentioned any names because it's... You know what we say here, Rohirrim? We say the forest has ears, and sometimes even the forest has eyes. And we hear a lot when you're... I mean, it's not just my mind playing tricks on me, but I hear a lot. I talk with a lot of the rangers. I even met an elf or two from the old woods, and that they also say that they have seen more and more of the dark folk in and around, coming closer from the east. And these are not just folk which come from the far east, like the regions beyond the Gargoroth Plains or something. These seem to be closer. They really seem to be coming, and this white hand symbol is new. It has been showing up. It's brand new. We've just seen it shortly, but why a white hand? But only, and it's only been seen in around the woods around Isengard, and now here these goblins in the woods between Chetwood South and Staddle. I'm at a loss. My wits are at the same loss as yours. But what do you say, friends? Should we together? I definitely have to help him. I'm going to see what I can do in the woods, and at the same time, would you consider trying to find out where these goblins are or something, or what the Chetwood South and Staddle, if they can be found there?
Well, turning to Inga. Inga, where are you from again? Aren't you from up north?
Well, where am I from?
I don't know, because you play a bio. No, what was it called?
I'm a barding.
A barding.
Bard. She's from Bard. Isn't that
well, originally it's Lake
Town.
Yeah, that's like
Lake
far
Town.
up north.
Yeah, that's far up north. Yeah, Lake Town is. Yeah,
but
Desolation was between Lake Town and
in your travels to Bree, have you already seen any of these marked orcs or goblins, so to speak, with a white hand?
Did I?
I would say between. I mean, you're all of you have a knowledge, and if you want to do a history check, you can do a history check. But in all of the legends and lore, and I think each three of you have been warned that there seems to be a shadow growing in the east now, and this is the time. This is the time after the Battle of the Five Armies, and there were goblins, which came, of course, the goblins which came from more of the hills and the hill areas, but they're also what we now consider orcs were always just called goblins.
Yes, and I was just thinking because maybe...
the sign of the white hand is slowly growing up now. Matter of fact, I mean, you probably wouldn't. I mean, this is history of Middle Earth now. Going outside of it, you probably wouldn't know that Saruman is slowly beginning to build an army.
No, but I was wondering if she would have maybe seen any of these goblins, then perhaps they might be like remnants from the Battle of the Five Armies.
That could be, yes, because the goblins were not fully destroyed. The goblins were...
Maybe they're traveling back south, so I'm not sure if they are coming from the north or maybe indeed from the south. Doesn't explain why they have a white hand, though, as a mark.
No. The white hand symbol is a new symbol which has been coming up. The orcs here around the area either had, of course, the orcs which have not, only if you would travel all the way to the east, you would have met on Mordor orcs or something and seen the symbol of the red eye. But they haven't come, not yet. So the orcs which are around here are either wild goblins, the goblins of Moria, which are also already up and about because the shadow has been wakened. Durin's Bane has been wakened. But this white hand symbol is new. But what Harry tries to do is he's trying to talk you into either helping him or to split up, that he goes back into the woods in his lairs which he's tried to, and you go to the woods which he said where he had seen before, between the Chetwood South and Staddle.
Well, I do know
he can also he also offers to join you if he wants to join you. He can also come along. But what makes more sense?
I do know the Midgewater Marshes like the back of my hand. I've wandered them for quite some time. So
that's very close to where this all is happening.
So Chetwood itself shouldn't be that far off.
No. Like I said, Harry says, you take the road from the south gate and you reach the woods beyond Staddle. It's really not that far. Probably after rest and a breakfast at the Pony, I can meet you at the south gate, and I will show you the road leading to Staddle, and then I would patrol the woods, and if you would continue on there, or we can meet there. I can meet you there at the woods too. Whatever's best. I'm not trying to convince you or something, but at the same time, I just want to make up for my mistake, which I only wanted to do good. I was hoping to be able to help good old Hayward, but I think I bit off more than I can chew in trying to be the rescuer all on my own.
But why didn't you tell us from the beginning?
New folk, a big Rohirrim rider, a young lady with a keen blade, and a seasoned Dunedain rangeress. I wasn't too sure to be trusted. I wasn't too sure. I work alone. I'm in my woods alone. I know the rangers. I can trust you. I know that now. But in the beginning, I wasn't too sure if I should tell you all this. That's why I was going to do it on my own. But you caught me fair and square, and maybe it's best that we do this together.
Well, as long as you're not, as long as you do pay back the poor farmer that you stole from, I think your secret is safe, at least with me. I can't speak for the others.
First thing in the morning, I am going to tell Hayward myself. You know, he's down. He stayed the night at the pony because he doesn't like staying up in his up here all alone now. Ever since I scared him off, and he kind of looks off and once again gets this guiltful thing. But I promise you that the first thing in the morning I will go to the pony and I'm going to tell Hayward of my plans, and that I will be able to pay him back as soon as I catch them. I think they must be hoarding because they stole provisions as well, and that they must be hoarding somewhere. I don't think that they use this for their strange rituals. The blood, yes, but not provisions.
Well, I wasn't thinking of maybe returning loot. Common folk can't do much with any gems or other golden objects that they might not be able to sell, but maybe you might be able to help poor Hayward with some woodworking of his own in his area.
Definitely.
Offer your services, perhaps.
And if I know a little bit about goblins and stuff, they seem to like shiny things too, so they might be, if we can catch these rascals, maybe they might even have a little hoard or so, which we can have pay old Hayward back, that he gets, maybe there's even a jewel or a piece of gold enough there too for him, so.
Well, what do the others say? What do you think, Inga?
Well, I promised him, old Hayward, was it?
Hayward, yeah.
That I would help him. That we would help him. So I'm in. I've got nothing else to do.
Okay. Look, Harry kind of gets a smile on his, looking to you, to Yorith, and to Fulgrim. And what do you say? Do we have your blades and your arrows with us too? I mean, look at us. We're a fine troop, which can probably besiege any goblin troop.
Well, I, for myself, will certainly be heading south towards the southern Shetwood to investigate there, wander around that area.
Well, then let's do this.
Yes. I need to find out more about those connections between the goblins and Isengard.
Well, then it's good that we seem to have all the same way. Then rest up, my friends. Breakfast is on me. We'll meet at the Prancing Pony as soon as old Butterbur has breakfast on the table, and then I'll show you the way south to the south gate, and we'll head on down to Chetwood South and Staddle, and see that we can maybe find these rascally goblins or anything which has been doing this.
Well, as we walk towards Bree, I turn to Inga. Can you believe that man murdered bunnies?
What? What do you mean?
Gathering the poor little carcasses for some weird trap.
I thought he'd, made a trap with living ones.
Well, that's even worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does Harry hear you?
It is.
Does Harry hear you?
I don't know, I do this pretty quietly, just walking with Inga.
Perception 18. You probably hear some of it, and he just kind of, wait a minute. I mostly stole provisions and stuff, and laid out. I laid out traps mostly with live bunnies. I didn't skin no bunnies. I would never do that. I did use some blood of the hens. I do. But I mean, all of you have a chicken leg for breakfast every once in a while, and a chicken has to be killed. So I figured I can use that blood for the trap. So, but you're right. It wasn't right of me. And he kind of mopingly continues.
Next time, put yourself in the trap, fool.
Yeah, put yourself, fool of a forester. Well, since you're more or less heading
Guessing we're
towards,
making our way to Bree.
Yeah, making a Bree. It's about 5 or 5:30 in the morning. The sun is slowly coming up.
Oh my god.
You see very tired eyes. You smell the first rashes of bacon being made. And
when was coffee invented in
yes.
Middle-earth?
Oh, coffee is invented. Oh, yes, there's coffee.
Do halflings have coffee?
The halflings love their coffee. You know, they have coffee breaks, and they have that. So you probably smell the first beans being roasted,
Yes.
so that they can make coffee.
You
And,
lives on this.
As a matter of fact, as you come towards the prancing pony, you see sitting on a small chair out front. Oh, it's little Barleyman, yawning real big, and he's churning in the coffee making, the little thing machine, which the coffee grinder, and looks inside the drawer, and then he continues on, and he looks up and he says, "Oh, you're here early. Should I prepare some breakfast?"
Do you have hot chocolate?
Hot chocolate? I've never heard of that. What is that? Is that a type of tea?
Do you have chocolate?
Chocolate? I've never heard of that before. Chocolate.
Oh.
Must be
What is
a
that?
northern thing.
Must be. We've got coffee if you want. We've got some good Malon tea. We've got some cornbread which is just being made. We made maple muffins. We've have some rashers of bacon. Farmer Hayward just the last week before, because his hens seemed to be not all been stolen. He brought us a whole bunch of eggs so we can make some eggs in the morning. And anything else I can check and see. Oh yes, Ma Baker brought a whole bunch of blueberries. We got fresh blueberries here too. So I can make you a real beautiful breakfast and some cream of wheat if you want.
Do you have hot milk and honey? You know honey, right? I mean,
Of
you
course.
don't know chocolate,
Oh.
so.
I've got honey fresh from the comb. We've got real honey. Have you ever seen the bees up there? Oh, we've got some bees up in Staddle. They're as big as your thumb. They make beautiful honey. Matter of fact, and he kind of, as if he's trying to tell you a secret, I've been told that those are Bjorning bees. That these are the type of bees that only the Bjornings have up there. They're big. They're the size of my thumb. Big bees, and they make the most beautiful honey. Matija has a whole bunch of them out there. So I can bring you honeycomb. I can bring you fresh milk. I can bring... Oh, you know what? I'll just set the larder, and you just wash up. Then go in the back room there. You can wash up there. And it looks like you never even used your rooms yet. So if you want to change, and then I'll have the... Give me a few moments, and I'll have the breakfast table ready for you.
Inga gets all excited about the bees. Can we go there next and visit the bees? Are they really that big?
Yodith goes up to her room and actually she's just gonna like lie down.
Yep.
Try and get some shut-eye. She's just planning on like grabbing something from the table on the way, as she's used to eating like on the road.
While you go up there, you see old Butterbur Senior, coming down yawning, and he says, "Oh, boy, you're up. Either you're up late or you're up early. But I'll have my boy make some breakfast for you. Not used to these types. I just got up myself, and if it wasn't for old Hayward snoring next door, the poor man, he was deep in his cups last night. Oh, I tell you."
Boy.
So when he continues on down and seems to be getting crockery and pots and pans ready, and his boy Barley comes in, and they're all stoking the fire and getting the breakfast ready.
I'll check on my horse before I go in and grab some tea and some breakfast.
Yeah, you go out to the stable. there's old Knob standing there, and he says, "Oh, hi there, hi. Oh, welcome again. You want to leave? You want to leave so early? You want to have him ready? I wanted to give him some fresh hay, and he does like a morning apple. That lovely horse of yours."
Oh, that he does. No, I just wanted to check in on him.
Oh, he's doing well. I'm afraid if I keep feeding him so well and taking him out the pasture, he likes to walk out in the green pasture out there, and he can run to his heart's delight out there. Probably reminds him of the fields of Rohan. I can think of that because we got some beautiful pastures. And if I keep feeding him that way, he's going to be as fat as old Fatty Lumpkin.
Well, I hope not.
No, I don't overdo it, sir. And he's afraid that he overstepped his boundary there, and just kind of hunkers down and kind of just gives you a big smile, halfling smile from ear to ear.
I'll pat my horse and pat the halfling on the head, and then go back into.
He keeps brushing the mane, and the horse seems to like this, and also seems to like the halfling. And as soon as your back is turned, the little halfling goes in and takes out a small apple and gives it to your horse and says, "Psst, just between you and me, I'll keep feeding it. You don't have to worry. I'll keep you in good stock. No one goes hungry in my stable." Okay, then you all meet up at the breakfast room?
Yes.
I think it depends on how long the others are. Like, if they want to head on out right away, or if they're going to take their time.
Breakfast is ready fast, and old Harry sits down, and you see in the corner of your eye, you see it looks like the fresh coffee, the rashers of bacon, and everything have kind of woken up a few other patrons, and amongst them is old Hayward, who's kind of holding his head. And Harry just gives you a nod and says, "First things first. I made a promise. I'm gonna do it." And he gets up, and you just see him walk towards it, and you see the two men in. It's not a heated conversation, but it looks like Harry is telling him everything he did, and you see shock, sadness, but after about 5 minutes of talk, Hayward kind of gives Harry a pat on the back and kind of smiles, and they seem to be agreeing on something. And he comes over, both of them, they sit down at your table, and Hayward says, "Just coffee for me this morning, boys. Oh, I overdid it. Oh, I heard Harry's told me all about his little adventure and his things that he's been trying to do. Well, I can't really be angry with him because he's just trying to help. But sometimes that Forrester is a fool of an idiot himself." And he just kind of gives him a scornful glance, and Harry just kind of lifts his hands and strokes his beard and says, "Oh, you're right where you're right there. Hayward, you're right where you're right. But we're gonna see that we find it. We're gonna find your animals, and these fine people, they agreed to help us too." And Hayward just kind of looks over and says, "Is that true now?"
Of course, we said we will help.
Yeah, Yodith nods.
Means, whoa, that's good. Well, I'll tell you what. I went through my provisions last time before I came here, and I know what's a-missing, and I know what these rascals have taken from me, and I know what Harry took, and what he's going to be giving back, and there are a few good items there. I had gold from Rohan as payment. I've had a few jewels, yes, and I've got even bags of silver. And if they can get those back, by all means, you can have those for helping me. I just want to get my stock back to going. I gotta get my hens back to laying eggs. I gotta get my pigs back in their mud. I have to make sure that my farm turns back into a farm and not just an empty place of sorrow.
Well, that sounds great. I like gems.
So after after you had a few things, Hayward just kind of nods to you, gets up, takes a big mug of coffee, which usually probably would have been made for ale, and just kind of goes back to the room where he came out of. He's probably going to catch another day's worth of sleep. And Harry just kind of stretches his leg and says, looks over to Fulgrim and says, "Do you want to risk taking your horse? Or should we all stay on foot? Because we're going to probably be heading into the woods and the wooded areas. I'm not too sure how a horse would fare, but I know that
I'd rather keep my horse here if we.
Yeah, old Knob will take care of that. You don't have to worry about. He'll be taking good care of that. And the way that Barnabas was saying, he said something about that. It's been paid in full, so you can have him. He's been being taken care of, so not to worry about that. So I would say that we head out towards down the south gate on foot. It's a wee bit of walking, but I think we can probably walk off our breakfast and probably be there by noon.
So do you want to join us instead of heading north yourself to your own
I will
woods?
head north afterwards. I want to show you everything there first, where it is,
I see.
and then I would head north up to my forest, and then let you head south towards the Chetwood and Staddle.
All right.
So he wants to more or less show you where the area is, and what was seen there and something, and then he'll head up towards his forest ring. He has like a patrol which goes through the northern part of the Chetwood, and you're beginning in the in between part there. So that maybe he might even meet up with you then too. So
Well, I'm ready to embark.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest.
yeah, Harry reaches down, gets his pack. He's got his the small axe back in his boot. He's got the other axe on the side, and his hunting knife behind his, and so he's ready. He leaves the lantern and such, everything with Butterbur, because he says, "I'm just gonna pack light. I can live off the forest. I don't need to take much with me. I had a good breakfast. I should be okay. There's enough berries and mushrooms and game out there which I can live off of.
Traveling
I'm not
light
gonna,
can save your life.
yeah, I don't have to worry about provisions. What about you? Do you need any provisions? Then Butterbear can probably pack you something.
I
I
think we don't
still have
anything, right?
enough.
Do we have starting stuff? Can't remember.
Yes. I have rations.
Yeah,
and
rations.
a water skin and a backpack.
Yeah, that should be enough.
Why don't each of you write down 2 rations and an extra water skin, because while you're talking and looking about that, old Barnabas kind of gives his son kind of like a little boot on his butt and says, "You don't tell me you didn't get anything ready for the." Oh, sure, Da. Sure, of course, Da. And he comes around the corner. He's got little packed in looks like oil paper or wax paper. He's got some bread, some dried rations of meat. He's got some cured fruit, and so you have it 2 rations each, which will probably help you through, and an extra skin of water. So you also would be ready to go.
Well, the faster we head out, the faster we find those goblins.
I agree.
Aye, that's what I say too. Harry gets up and says, "Well, follow me. We're heading towards the south gate."
All right.
And he starts walking towards the south gate, and so you follow him out. You walk through Bree. The town is slowly waking up, and the first night chamber pots are being thrown into the road. Bedding is being aired out, but also there's other nicer nicer. It smells like the first cookings and breakfasts being made, and you're surprised to see Tad Tillyfield at the south gate, because he had the other gate. He had the main gate entrance, and he just kind of waves to you and said, "Yep, different gate today, but I'm gonna make sure old Harry is really proud of me. I tell you that. Are you heading to the south?"
Don't you need to sleep sometime?
"Oh, I'll sleep during the day. That's okay. I had the night watch, and then, yeah, you know me. I'm always up and about, and I want to make sure that Harry gives me that. I want that assignment, and so I'll do an extra." And he just kind of yawns. "I do the extra shift. That's okay. I'll catch some sleep in between shifts." And he just kind of leans on his pike and kind of yawns while you guys pass him.
But don't fall asleep. That's not gonna get you extra points.
No, man. No. If you come back, Missy, I'll be fresh and willing, and I'll be fresh enough for a dance. I believe you.
Ain't no rest for the wicked, it seems.
So you head out the south gate, and Harry shows you. It's a road which kind of leads all the way to Staddle, and you walk for about a good hour. The sun is slowly going up. It's the first dew is being burnt off the branches and the grass. It's gonna be a beautiful day, the way it looks. Good day for walking. And after about an hour, the road seems to make a bend and heads out into the wooded area. And Harry says, "Well, this is now where our roads. I'm going to head up north, and you're going to head up south, and we'll see that we can see who can find this." And I would say either we meet back in evening at Bali's, or even at Hayward's if we found out something, and just watch out for yourself. And I hope that either I find something while I'm patrolling the woods, or you find something in the other area near Staddle. And
be sure to not stumble into any other chicken pens on the way north.
No, and like I say, if you find any, and he looks down to Inga and says, "If you find anything in any traps or something beyond this area, that wasn't me. I did not kill any, and I know you love your animals. Anything you see down here must have been the goblin's work." So, and he just kind of, because he does feel really bad about setting traps with blood and stuff. So,
well, you better go find those bunnies and put them back in their den, or like.
Okay, I will.
Whatever.
I'll say the bunnies and the burros and the pigs and whatever I can find. And he reaches into, and it looks very nice. It's kind of it looks like, first you think he's holding a twig or a piece of a twig, and if you look at exactly, it does have like a needle in the middle, and it seems to be like a compass. And he gives it to Inga and says, "This always points north. I got this from my uncle, and he said it's supposed to be elven magic. I never believed him, really, but my uncle Jim gave me this many years ago, and it's supposed to always point north. So if you're lost and you hold this, and the arrow right there on the wooden stick points to the north, you always know where north is. So that way you might not get lost in the woods." And he gives that.
Gonna turn around and to look if it works. And
yeah, you turn around
and start
and
walking in circles.
Yeah, you turn around, and it seems to really be always pointing in the same direction, which, according to Harry, is the northern direction. Matter of fact, since he's going to be heading towards north, you see that where he starts to walk towards and he waves to you, the arrow is pointing. So that must be elven magic or not, he gives you a compass.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so he waves and heads out, and you now stand, the three of you, on the road which is making a bend and heading towards what looks like a natural underpass, which goes deeper into the Chetwood South Wood.
So how does this thing work? We walk in the other direction it's pointing at? I ask Inga.
Well, if we want to go south, then yes.
Well, yes, south is our direction. South, southeast. I believe. Following the road to
the road.
Stadel.
Yeah, the road more or less, even though it bends and goes around, it always seems to be heading southeasterly. So it seems to be, the main road seems to be, you can probably stay on this main road, except if there's, I don't know, if there's something, if it ends or something, but it seems to be going, and you see that it now bends. It bends in towards like you said, like a natural underpass going through. I wouldn't say a valley area, but there's a lot. The trees get denser now, and you're walking in a pass where you have trees to the left and to the right of you.
Oh, well, I start walking.
Okay. Who has the best? Probably the ranger. Probably has the best sense for.
Yeah, I
for
think there's also something, I would have to read it up, but there's
or
something about
the nature.
not getting lost, at least.
Yeah, the nature thing. Let me see.
I do have like survival.
Yeah. Trying to see if it's perception. Yeah, maybe perception would think. Have Yorith give me a perception check. Okay. So what you can see.
That's a 24.
Oh, you see everything. So after heading on towards this thing, it does make a bend, and you see it's kind of like a natural underpass. And after a while, the trees get thicker, and the road or the path seems to branch off a little bit, and there's and it goes down where it looks like a hollow tree, like a gigantic tree, like from one of the trees of old, like a redwood, and it's almost like a small tunnel which you have to go through to get to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fun. And I start running inside.
Okay. So you run into the tunnel like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still wait warily, but then follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I carefully follow her as well.
Okay. Once you're all three inside this hollow tree, you hear a gruff voice behind you. And the typical speech of the highwaymen, which you also know from which sometimes have been problems around Bree and Stadel, and you hear, "Stand and deliver your gold or your life, you three."
What's happening?
Who's talking?
In front of you, behind you, you see there's kind of a commotion. Could be 2, maybe 3 people that kind of like bar the entrance so that you can't go back. And in front of you, let me see that I can give you a picture of this gentleman. This ugly gentleman who's
I'm gonna just
barring
pull out my bow. I'm not gonna draw an arrow, but just have my bow in my hand.
Barring, yeah, he's barring your way here. Let me see, where is he? Where is he? One moment. Almost there. Here we are. This is. I hope this works. No, that's not him. Oh, Hashkapu. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that. It's not working. I wanted to show you. No, here it is. Yeah, it did work. Matter of fact, you should have a picture of the bandit leader. It's a bandit. He's kind of, he's a thin fellow. Not really too muscular for he's not really like a warrior. He's got an eye patch over one eye. Looking at him, he's seen at least 40 winters, maybe even more. He's got an old mesh, a mixture of the Fulgrim recognizes it as old plate mail, which either the Rohirrim or even you've also seen that Gondorian knights have worn this before, but only the one side. The other side, Yorith, you recognize this seems to be the breeches of a ranger. So he seems to really have gotten his whole garb together either by stealing it together or whatever. And he just stands in front of you, and he can't really see exactly who they caught now in their tree. But he just says, cold coin warms the heart. We're just asking for a bit of toll.
Oh, you just ruined all the fun. And I take out my shield and sword.
Yeah, cold iron stills the heart.
He now sees the glint of steel, and these bandits are used to waylaying either traveling farmers or folk on their way from Staddle to Bree. You know, they'll get out a club or something and scare the people by giving them a few silver or something. They're not used to armed warriors now, so
I think you caught the wrong travelers, friend.
Yeah, well, and he just kind of pulls himself upright and says, well, if you give us a gold coin each, we'll let you pass. And he tries to look very brave. And behind you, you hear two other seem like also bandits. You see now that they're also a ragtag band. One has a sack over his head, a briar sack, and has a club in his hand. The other one is a fat little guy who seems to be wearing a uniform from an old guard uniform, which is way too small for him. His belly is hanging out underneath, and he's got an old axe in his hand, and they're just they're acting being very dangerously. Well, are you gonna pay up, or do we have to beat it out of you?
Yorith just says, I'm sorry, is this your tree? Because last time I checked with the master of these woods, a certain Mr. Bombadil, I for a fact know that he does not like others laying claim to what is his, especially folk like you just pestering these roads for the poor commoners or weary travelers like ourselves.
Behind you, the little fat guy says, did you hear that, Patch? They don't want to be messing with them. And the bandit leader, who he called Patch, is kind of, shut up, York. You're such a fat fool. We'll get their gold and then we'll be off. No need to bother.
I'm just gonna draw an arrow and hold it towards him. I'm not gonna shoot it, but just draw it and say, last chance, friend.
Well, he does seem to kind of at first kind of go, draw back, and then
otherwise, if he takes too long, I'm just gonna shoot in front of his feet.
Okay.
If he takes too long with no reaction, I'm just going to do that.
No. He jumps back, afraid, of course.
Then I'll take the second one and just say, the next one will not miss.
Attacking free people of Staddle you are! Oh, I'll tell the sheriff about this. He's gonna make sure that you. I mean, we're just wandering folk out here. I mean, arrows and blades. I never heard of that before. And he kind of pulls back, and the other two seem to walk around the log, and then now they're standing all three at the side of you, more or less. You could get past, they're kind of brandishing. They're not attacking yet. They're just kind of brandishing. And Patch says, "Well, I think we got off to a bad start here." And he kind of laughs. "How about just 1 gold piece for toll, and we'll let you go, huh?"
Well, I mean,
Can I smack him now?
I mean, it is a Dunedain's task to keep the roads clear of any pests. And I just look to the others. Would you consider these fine folk pests?
Does this mean I can smack him?
Well, if you want to smack him, roll for initiative. Because if you smack him, he will smack back.
I look at the others.
Sure, go ahead and smack him.
Okay, I smack him.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, he has... You have, of course, you surprised him because you didn't think the young lady's going to smack him. He has an armor class of 15.
So I roll for initiative or for attack?
Yes. Well, you can roll for attack now because you decided to smack him. He's going
Nice.
to... Yeah.
What do I add? Strength? Proficiency? Both?
Are you just gonna smack him with your hand?
No, I have a long
blade.
sword.
Oh, okay, so you're
Long sword.
actually using the weapon. Gotcha.
Using your weapon, yeah.
Yeah, then it's like a strength attack.
Only strength or proficiency as well?
If you're proficient with a long sword,
Sure, I
a
am.
martial weapon, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I have a 17.
Well, then you definitely smack Reno. You smack him very well. How much
Nice.
damage?
What do I add on here? Also strength?
Just
Proficiency? Then it's 9 damage.
Ooh, okay.
But I don't want to like pierce him. I basically just want to.
She hits him
smack
with the
him, not cut him.
broadside.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
hit him
exactly.
with the broadside, and you really seem to knock the wind out of him, and he stumbles back. And now we're gonna have to roll for initiative because he just says, "What are you looking at, you fat fools? Attack!"
Yeah, I
So-
already
Yeah,
rolled.
because
I
I-
only have a 12.
I didn't want to like
God.
kill him or anything, just to smack him
Right.
out of the way.
Okay, so what do you have for initiatives?
Yours is
Only
a
a
12.
9.
We have yours with a 12. Let me note this down. Okay.
I have a 9.
Okay. 12, 9.
I have-
Look at him.
21.
Oh, okay. Then we have 16 for Patch. 4 for Fat Freddy. And an 8 for Dumb Tom. So
I
it'll
like names.
be, so it'll be Fulgrim attacking next.
Can I do a sneak attack on the one that got smacked by Inga?
Yeah, well, at the moment he's got the wind knocked out of him. Yeah, he's
Because
you could probably sneak attack him.
how
Yeah.
does it work with sneak attacks? It's basically when he's engaged with a different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Character, right?
Yeah, he's engaged with Inga. He got smacked, and now he more or less he's not watching you, so you can sneakily hit him.
Yeah, I would shoot with my short bow.
Okay.
Try and hit him.
Cut off the head of the snake.
cut off the hit. Well, it's a 23
That definitely hits.
to hit. Sneak attack is plus 1d6, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, should be.
So it's, and do I add anything to my damage with the bow? No, it's just the normal bow damage, right?
Yeah, it's always your dexterity that you use. Basically, your dexterity bonus as well.
And add it add it to the damage.
Yeah, you roll the damage die, then it's your dexterity bonus. And then in your case, you roll like the sneak attack as well.
Yes, okay, so then it's 9 damage.
Wow. Okay. Old Pat is getting his butt kicked, but he's still standing.
I'll step back a little bit.
Okay. Matter of fact, now it's his turn, and he thinks since he's a coward, he's gonna try to hit the little girl with his spiked club. But
She hit first.
he only has a 10. I don't think that. So
smack him with my shield.
he swings past, burying the spike into the ground, but wide away from you. Bringing us now to Yorith.
Yeah, he's not making any like sign of withdrawing or surrendering, right?
No. He's
And I'm gonna just aim for his knee.
okay.
That's a total of 20.
Definitely hits his knee.
With a longbow.
Okay.
And hang on, let me get 1d8. I need some light here. Here we go. Okay. And that's a total only 5 damage.
That's okay. That arrow goes straight toward his knee. Even though he's wearing kind of braces, you see the arrow go through the leather braces, and he just kind of drops to that knee like someone just kind of more or less pushed him to his knee, and he screams out in pain. Damn you! But he's still there, and he's still
determined.
Still determined, holding that spiked club around and not letting anybody get closer. Now it is Inga's turn again.
I hit him again.
Okay.
You don't ambush innocent traveler. And that's only 12, so I don't hit him.
No, your sword gracefully swings past him, but you do manage to shear off a few of his gray locks on the side, which really gives him a shock, and he kind of holds up the side of his head. Hey, watch me here.
Not the beard.
Yeah, not the beard. Okay, now it's time for Dum Tom, who's kind of, I think he's closest to Fulgrim. So Dum Tom is lifting that axe of his. Jeez, they're a bunch of shitty words. That's only a 9 to hit.
Yeah, I gracefully step aside.
You gracefully step aside, you know. And then we've got Fat Freddy.
Fat Freddy.
Fat Freddy. Ooh. Fat Freddy. Yorith a 14?
Let me check. Nope, my armor class is 15 with the hide armor plus. It's dexterity that comes onto it, right?
Yeah.
I think. Because
yeah. Well,
hide armor is like 12, and I have a dexterity of plus 3.
Fat
so it's
Freddy
15.
is swinging. It looks like it's supposed to be a club, but it looks like he just brought. Looks like
big stick.
That's a big ass stick. I mean, he's definitely given a few people some beatings with this thing before, but it's a wood. It seems to be out of an oak tree, so it's really hard. So if that thing hits you, that can break a kneecap. But he gracefully misses you, which brings us back to the top to Fulgrim.
Well, I would switch to my daggers and attack. Which one is in front of me? The fat one or the dumb one?
Let's see the dumb one.
Well, then I'm gonna attack the dumb one.
Dumb Tom.
With my 2 daggers.
Aye.
How does that work? I roll once with a normal attack bonus, and then the offhand with like no.
It depends on how like the DM is ruling it, since you switched weapons.
Oh
yeah, I would say a weapon switch would be like a bonus action.
That's like a bonus action, and you still have your like main attack.
Your main attack then.
Yeah. It's a 20. Oh, hang on. Dexterity plus 3, 21, 25.
Easily hit. Whatever you do, you hit old dumb Tom. How much damage?
Gonna stick him with. Oh, that's not much. With 4 damage.
Oh, well, still. Good. Dumb Tom. Okay, bringing us then to Patch, who's going to try to hit that fresh little girl with that blade, which has been 12.
Nope.
That's the sound he makes when he tries to hit her, right?
Yeah. Yeesh. And we continue now after Patch. We had Fulgrim, Patch. Yorith again.
Me again. So I have probably like this dude in front of me, right? Which just makes it hard to like shoot an arrow.
Yeah.
Then I'm also going to use a bonus action to switch.
It's knife work from here, boys.
Yeah, then I'm going to draw my longsword as a bonus action.
Aye.
Wield that with 2 hands and try to strike him with a 4.
Not quite. Not quite. You gracefully swing past him, and he's kind of goes to the other side and says, "No more hair loss for me," you know, and he just kind of cackles. You call yourself warriors? And he kind of trying to get back on his feet with that arrow in his knee. He took an arrow to his knee.
Yep.
A true Skyrim warrior.
He's gonna become a guard after this.
After that he's gonna be a guard. Yeah, if he survives it. Then we had Inga next.
I hit him again with 22. Yes.
Oh yes, definitely.
And I'm gonna shave his head. That's 6 damage.
6. Wow.
Trying
Patch
to
is
cut
really looking bad now. Oh, Patch is sweating under that patch. He's losing blood. He's not a happy camper. He's panting very heavily, usually more using the club more as a crutch than as a weapon. And since now Dumb Tom comes up, and who was he engaged with? Dumb Tom, I think, was with Inga.
No,
wasn't it with me?
No, Dumb Tom was with Fulgrim. Yeah, Dumb Tom. Jesus, it's worth 11.
Yeah. Nope.
They sure do not.
Another graceful sidestep.
Yeah, and we got Fat Freddy. Forget it. Fat Freddy is a 3. Fat Freddy falls in front of his fat face. They're all looking after they see that their big mouth thing. I mean, you kind of watch and see that Freddy and
too much.
Freddy and Tom both, they keep looking back towards the wooded area, look like where they could probably take off to. So they might want to make a dash for it pretty soon. Because they see that their leader is getting his butt kicked. which brings us back up to Fulgrim.
I'll hold my action.
Okay.
Can I say something still?
Sure.
Or would that be the action? Okay.
No, if you're gonna hold action, you can.
Yeah, I would hold my action and see if I notice that the dumb Tom would attack me. I would strike him. But I would tell him now, run away, and then you might survive.
He gives you kind of a very surprised look and looks between you and Patch, who doesn't seem to be. Patch doesn't seem to have heard this, but he just kind of looks back and forth. Then we come to Patch, who's. I do not believe this. A 5. I haven't had anything higher than 11. It's a 5. Forget it. He kind of. She thinks he wants to swing, but he just kind of rests on that club of his. Not really. It can't even say it was an attack or not. It just looks more like he shifted his weight, and he's kind of panting heavily. Then we would have Yorith.
Yes. I have the Fat Freddy guy in front of me.
You got Fat Fred in front of you.
That's still not so good. That is a
And Fat Fred.
8.
Nah, they have no. It's still a AC of.
Yeah, it sucks.
15,
Longsword is like with strength, but yours isn't that strong.
But it's enough to kind of it does give him a scare, and he just kind of jumps back and.
That was like intentional.
Yeah, he's.
I make it look intentional.
Yeah. We come to Inga.
I'm gonna hit the guy in front of me again.
So that is Patch. You have the leader, right?
Yes.
Yes.
With only a 14, so I also miss.
Nah. You miss it.
Yeah.
You miss him by 1.
It's fine.
Yeah, he kind of scratches armor, and he's really kind of looking scared, and you kind of notice that he tries to crawl. She's trying to crawl more and more back into the mud and into the thing. He doesn't seem to be doing much of attacking at the moment. He's more like defending himself. We come to Dumb Tom, who looks to Patch, then he looks to Freon, not Freon. Then he looks to Fulgrim, and he seems to think of the words that Fulgrim told him, and he's gonna try to flee. He's dropping his weapon, and he's going to try to run away.
Yeah, I'll let him.
That means you have a chance to think. Oh, you let him?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll let him.
Okay. Yeah, he heads out towards the back where you guys entered. That's where he heads out towards the road, which is probably either leads him back to Bree or somewhere out towards the other area. And Fat Freddy sees Tom and does the same. He drops his weapon and takes off, leaving Patch in the dirt, screaming and wailing and come back here, you sons of hamsters! I tell you, wait till I catch you, you sons of... And he just lays there, muttering and moaning and yelling after him, which brings us to Fulgrim.
Well, I'll get closer to her, to the poor little bugger in the kneeling there. Just kick him in the face.
You kick him in the face, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Kick him in the face. Does your boot do any damage?
I don't know.
Yeah, well...
I can...
Yeah.
I rolled a 16. I don't know if I add anything
You hit
to it.
no, that's you hit him square in the face. What will we see? A kick? Is that?
I don't know, it's like
boot.
an improvised weapon, a 1d4.
Yeah, 1d4 or 1d6. Yeah, 1d4.
One, yeah. That's a 2.
Okay. You knock out 3 of his teeth. And he just sits there with a few hit points left. And you notice that he starts to cry.
No.
He's sitting in the mud.
Now I feel bad.
You're not too sure,
I think
but
he's
he might
learned
even
his lesson.
he might even be wetting himself. So it's his turn, and he doesn't seem to be wanting to do anything. He looks up and throws away his club and says, "Enough! Enough! I'll lick my wounds and I won't attack anybody anymore." And he just throws away his club and he just sits there on the dirty ground and more or less looks up at you and just says, "I give up, enough.
Yeah, Yorith sheaths her weapon.
Yeah, Yorith is next, and then it would be Inga.
I think he's learned his lesson.
I also put back my sword. That's what happens when you spoil all the tree tunnel fun.
I will never be doing any more tree tunneling. No, you know what? I'm gonna head back to Staddle, and I think it's enough for me. I'm too old for this brigandeering. I think I'm gonna become a guard.
Yes, you should. I was about to say you should use your skill set.
Maybe with this, maybe old Harry at Bree can use somebody, and maybe they can fix up this arrow wound, and he just kind of lifts up and uses this thing for a crutch and kind of holding that broken knee. You see him slowly head towards the same road that the other two took off to.
Let it be a reminder for the rest of your life.
He just, between muttering and moaning, he just kind of takes off.
I run after him and give him one bacon from breakfast. Here, have this, a little provision for the way. Be careful, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna find him in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
He never made it to Staddle.
From poison bacon. He greedily stuffs it. It seems that they really were probably more hungry and desperate than anything else. And he greedily stuffs the bacon in, and he just says, "Blessings of the woods to you, child. Blessings of the woods." And he just keeps hunkering on and away. Note down just for you, because I have to remember to give it all of you, but still for experience points, that's 50 for him, 25. That would be 100 XP for these three. So, or put him. We'll make it easier. Put down 33 XP for each of you. Just to remember.
How many did we get the last time?
I don't know. Because I wrote
so
down
50
because
from last time basically.
Yeah, because we didn't
83.
you didn't kill anything or anything, but it's just for the for experience. It's still you gain experience. So for this thing, it's 33 for each of you for this little bandit encounter.
So we should be at 83, everybody.
Yeah, that should be it.
Because then I have that saved as well.
After the bandits leave you and you follow around the road, leading...
I would like to talk to Inga before we move on.
You see the road comes out of this tree stump and continues on. So it looks like these guys probably rigged this so that people have to go through this tree stump so that they can, because now the road is the normal road leading south to the Staddle Woods. So you're back on the normal road.
Inga, it might be good for like future travels and just in general for our safety not to just blindly run ahead.
But it was a tree tunnel.
Yes, a tree tunnel filled with, I admit, a failure of bandits.
Yeah.
But
See,
still,
everything turned out great.
this time, yes.
Yeah, well, there's also giant spiders living in tree tunnels too, but I'm not saying anything. Not this time. This time it was nothing.
It's
So
safer to be careful
Yeah.
than dead.
Yes, Mom.
So do you follow the road?
Yeah.
So you leave the bandits, or the bandits leave you?
This time, I think
Follow
Eordis
the
will
road.
lead, though.
Okay. Yorith leads the way. It does go deeper into the woods now. The forest smells fresh.
Are we already at like the Shetwood?
This is about you're closing in on the Chetwood area
so
where
around
where they said that the first signs have also been seen, and it's more towards Staddle now. You're in between this area where Harry had talked about, and the forest smells fresh, smells of pine. The trees are still a little bit wet from the downpour of the rain 2 nights ago, and the dew now, which is now slowly, the sun has been taking up there. There's here and there small patches of sunlight breaking through, and you admire the smell, and you're admiring the landscape, and you're walking past, it looks like deep ferns and shrubberies and bluebells and things which are growing there. And I need all 3 of you to give me a perception roll. What you might be hearing.
Perception.
Ooh, that's a 1.
Oh,
That's a 21.
okay. No, you don't hear howling wolves. Even though it's in the background.
I've got an 18.
Okay. A natural 1.
Yep.
Well, wanting to hear something. I don't know how you manage this, but you either stumble or whatever, and you kind of fumble with your Rohirrim cloak, and all of a sudden it's almost falling off the side of your shoulders. You say, "What is wrong?" You have to adjust your cloak and everything, so you don't hear anything of what's going on and what the other 2 now hear. So the Yorith and Inga are up front, and you're kind of fumbling with your cloak, and all of a sudden, Yorith, I think you had the highest, and Inga also hear this. You hear 2 kind of high-pitched voices, and at first you don't really hear anything what it's about. You just hear kind of like that, and the closer you get, it seems to be coming from the left of you, from the inside of the shrubbery and hedges. There's like deep ferns are there too, and bluebells, and you hear, "No! Caught him fair and square. I say we makes a fire." And another voice says, "No, it was my trap. I want to eat it in the stew." "No, a fire, I say. I say we make a stew." And you creep closer, and if you look over towards the left in a patch of fern and bluebells, you see 2, looks like brimmed hats. One is like straw, and the other one, it could be a helmet or something. Seems to be made out of either a metal or a wood. And you can't see any faces. You just see these 2 small covered heads, I guess, going back and forth and arguing. sitting, I guess, like sitting in these ferns. From the size, they could be halflings because of the size, and if you remain quiet, or yeah, what do you do? Hearing this at first.
What's going on? Why are you creeping along the side of the road?
Yeah, I'm like after I take a look, I'm just gonna like wave both of them silently towards me.
So you kind of keep it down or something, yeah.
Yeah.
So you remain quiet, and you hear them continuing to bicker and fight. These two voices. Bluebell Huffypuff. There's nothing like a good early barbecue, I say. No, it burns the meat. I like it cooked, nice and long, with some herbs and some spices and roots. And taters. I love me taters. Taters are for poofs. I'll give you a poof off the side of your ugly head. Oh, yeah. And it goes back and forth, the typical yeah. And bickering back and forth continues on. And you see these two, the straw hat and this wide-brimmed hat, going back and forth, kind of this argument going on and on.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like return to the road. I wouldn't like engage them unless any of the other two want to do something. But yours just stands there.
They don't seem to have noticed you. These two arguing whatevers have not noticed you, so you can return to the road and continue on.
Because we also didn't find any tracks so far in terms of like any, I don't know, blood puddles or animal corpses or stuff that they were talking about, right?
No. Matter of fact, Yorith, since you're the one that's the best with what would you do, like not traps, but something which you might, if you might see something like lying in the road or something, would that be another perception or
depends
or nature
so
or a nature check?
Survival might be one for like outdoor stuff.
Yeah, outdoors will be good. Yeah, can you give me a check? If you see something lying around here.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah. Well, matter of fact, you do see near the area where these two bickerers were, kind of lying on the side, close enough to them. It looks like a dead body of a rather plump squirrel. A big fat squirrel, which seems to be dead, and maybe that's what they were arguing about, because the one said he wants to cook, the other wants to barbecue, so...
But I mean, they are, that's like right next to them or off to the side somewhere?
No, it's they're like in the middle of the ferns.
Mm-hmm.
Like sitting in the ferns underneath a tree or something. You can't see it because they're so small, going this back and forth. And this fat squirrel is next to them, so they would have to get up, come out of the ferns, get that. So it's not lying in the middle of the road, it's lying next to them. So this might be the reason that but there's nothing else, no other blood carcasses or anything else.
I don't know. Do the others want to do something in particular?
We can't
really see who's bickering, right?
No,
just
it's like from the size. The size is halfling size. Just see these hats going back and forth. So there's two small creatures fighting each other because of how to eat a dead squirrel. But you don't really know exactly what it is. Except if you would address them or make yourself known or whatever.
Do we know what sort of language goblins are talking? Because we are in that area now, right?
Yeah, you're in the area, but it's not goblin. It's we would probably, as game players, say it's the common language.
The Western, or what it's called?
It's the Western language. It's the language which all folk They even seem to have an accent which is kind of common to Bree or Staddle. So, but you understand them. They're not speaking like Orcish. It's not the Black Tongue or something like that. So it's a common Western dialect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would any of you want to weigh in on their meat discussion?
No, I'll just return to the room.
Okay. Inga, same thing?
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
I don't really like eating squirrels.
Yeah. Then you continue on, and behind you you hear, "Yes. You know what? I don't want to eat anymore." "Oh, no, you don't want to eat anymore." "No, I'm done now. You can have it all alone." "Well, why should I have it all alone now?" And then they start bickering about that. Who's not going to eat the squirrel? So whatever that is, you don't know what exactly is going on between these two creatures, but
No, we came here for a mission.
the bickering goes on, and you keep going towards deeper now into the woods. They get more heavier now, and you start seeing the first remnants feathers. Then after a while you see some bones and some bloody furs. This is kind of proving to you that you must be getting closer now to the area which old Harry was talking about. And it seems to have started now to rain again. The weather's gotten worse, but the woods are so heavy, you only once in a while you'll feel a drop or something. You're really deep into the woods now, and the air is getting heavier, and there's almost like kind of a mist to it, but every once in a while you see on the roadside, and it's always weird. It always looks like it's like leftovers, Mm-hmm. It's not like someone had a fire and made, I don't know, had like a roast pig or something in their bones. No, it always looks like either it was just the blood drained out of it and just the dead carcass lying there, or opened up and entrails taken out. So it just seems it's not being, these animals are not being eaten.
There's also no system like behind it.
There's not really a system, only that they seem to be scattered. It's almost like a trail. You can almost like feel it every once in a while. It'll be like you'll see it next to the road, then it'll be in the road, and it's always always have this kind of thing. What you do notice with the air getting heavier and the kind of a mist to it, after about an hour of walking, you do feel tired and you probably want to rest a bit. But while you rest, you're pestered by little flies. They're like gnats, or as you probably consider, and Yorith will know these are the midges, which you have here in Breeland, because you are close. You're close to the Midgewater marshes, and
I would maybe light a torch. I don't know if that would help to kind of have the smoke or something protect us a bit from the torch.
Matter of fact, yes. If you light a torch, the smoky torch does keep them away a bit, and here and there you do see that they stick to where it's wet. Like if you walk a little bit and there will like more sunlight again, then there won't be any of the midges. So it's more like to the area, and you see on the left side of the road is more the drier part. The right side of the road, which is more towards the east, your eastern part, it's a little bit wetter. Probably is there. That's probably where the Midgewater marshes are. You're probably getting closer to that. But if you want to take a short rest, probably a good idea to rest now, because you do seem to be getting closer to your to the area which might be the area which which Harry had been talking about.
Yeah, I'm also gonna strike off a ration.
Yeah. Matter of fact, now, it's up to you now how fit you are. If you want to continue or if you want to stop for today. I've prepared more than enough. I have time. I can continue on. I'm asking you as players.
I think it's a good point to stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind taking a
long rest.
break, a long
Okay.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to, let's see. You started out really early in the morning, so it's probably about time for a noon meal now.
Yeah.
So you could probably take Ratchet. It's kind of like a lunch break now. So I'd say it's the sun is up high in its zenith. The rain is stopped again, so it comes and goes. The weather is not very thing here. So yeah. So then we'll stop here for tonight and continue on. So you're on the right way. This seems to be exactly what Harry was talking about. The deeper in the woods, the weirder it gets. And matters of fact, and as you sit there and you look around in the woods, every once in a while you see something like maybe a stick or something which has a little bit of a rest of meat hanging on it, or there's like on one area you looked over when you get up and stretch yourself, you see looks like the claw of a hen lying there. So whatever is that thing, you're definitely, if you follow the bloody path, you'll probably come towards what you're looking for. So much
Right.
for today in our adventuring in Middle Earth. I hope you enjoyed this little outing. And some new friends and allies, and also some foes which were very lucky to get away with their lives, if you ask me. And yeah.
Nobody wants to get in the way of a little barbarian girl.
Yeah. So I have to give the power of the word over to the other DM. As Lore Master Loris, I will be it'll probably be a 2-week break now. We will have to see when we continue. It'll probably be with D&D again, I'm guessing.
Well, with some people starting new jobs and stuff, we
That's also
probably
true.
will only be able to do our usual sessions like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there most likely, sadly, won't be an episode next week, but the week after we'll continue again with D&D, and then the next time we continue with Middle Earth again.
So we will continue the bloody path to who
Wherever this
knows
leads
what
us.
lurks. Who knows what lurks in the dark forest?
Yep.
In 3 weeks then or so.
So just for all the new episodes, you know our channels on Spotify and iTunes, and just keep it to slanteddice.com, and usually we communicate everything through Instagram. And yep, that's it from my end.
Yeah, and also from mine. Thank you for tuning in. As always, click us, like us, add us. Make sure that you make Slanted Dice your gaming friend, be it with D&D or with the Adventures in Middle Earth. As always, like I said, it is a short outing. We'll probably have 1 or 2 more episodes, and then we'll have this little campaign taken care of. With just an idea to see.
It depends on
different...
how long we take.
Yeah, well, we could have finished it today, but I'm not going. I don't want to rush anybody.
Exactly.
Okay, so Lore Master Loris bows his head and says, "Thanks you for listening. Thank you for playing, my players, and I bid you all a good night."
Good night. Bye bye.
Good night.
Night.
Cheers.